Hello, found footage fans, and welcome to We Found a Tape. Join us as we hit play and uncover what lies beyond the tape. Hello, everyone, to another episode of We Found a Tape. Today's an extra special one because it's Halloween. Hell yeah. And what better way to celebrate Halloween than to talk about the latest installment in the VHS franchise, which is VHS Halloween.
Oh yeah. Definitely had to do a Halloween special. I agree. I mean, what better way than to do VHS Halloween? It's kind of perfect timing. They put it out before Halloween, and here we are.
Yeah, the timing was really great. I love that it comes out sort of right about this time every year. I feel like it was a year since VHS Beyond came out, and it took me a couple of tries on that one. I think when I first saw it, I didn't. There was some segments that I wasn't a fan of, but rewatching it again, I've done it a few times now. I actually have a better appreciation for VHS Beyond.
Yeah, I agree. There was some silly parts in it, and how can I say? It wasn't necessarily bad. It was just it just wasn't what you expected, going into it.
Totally.
But we'll get into that. But yeah, I agree. It after watching it a second and third time around, it definitely grows on you.
Yeah, and it's really the same for a lot of the VHS movies. There's some that cohesively go together, and some they're a bit too out there, and and it kind of catches you off guard. And you're like, whoa. The VHS franchise is one that I really, really enjoy. I've been watching them for years now, and the first time seeing the first VHS genuinely scared me. I guess when I saw it, whenever the lights are too dark and you get that overwhelming feeling when you're watching horror movies sometimes. That first segment for me, the siren one, really freaked me out. It just I didn't really understand what I was getting myself into, and it just kind of threw me off. But I've since gone back and rewatched it all, and I went through a marathon one time when I was sick with COVID. So
yeah, and to be fair, I mean, with any anthology, you're always going to find one that doesn't stick out or almost kind of makes sense in the whole series of shorts. And but going back and watching it over and over, because I've watched VHS movies, all of them, more than a handful of times each one at various times, and they just grow on you. The entire franchise of VHS, it is what it is. It's VHS.
Hell yeah. And it's such a cool anthology concept. It's been around for a number of years now. It's had so many iterations and so many different themes. And when they were doing the years, like 94, 99, 85, I really was digging them, because it was cool to see the different eras, the different technology, the different fashion, and the terms that they were saying. And it was kind of cool to go back and see who really does well with that. And then recently, they then took almost like a hiatus from years, and they went to VHS Beyond, which was last year, and then VHS Halloween. I don't know if you've noticed this, but they kind of do it in triplets. So there's VHS, VHS2, and VHS Viral. They were sort of together for a long time, and then there was a big gap, and that's when they did VHS 94. And then that went into the years, which was a triplet of years, VHS 94, 99, 85, and then it went to Beyond, and then Halloween. So I wonder, next time, what the theme would be. It kind of seems like it's taken a bit of a different thematic anthology, which I think is really cool. I know I personally would love to see a Christmas one.
Yeah, that actually wouldn't be a bad one. Something that even would involve like almost like a Krampus type, scenario in one of the shorts.
Hell yeah. And I think it goes perfectly, mainly because at Christmas time, like, the whole world at one point had some form of video camera. Everyone now has smartphones, but I know for me, when I was a kid, and I recently went back to Scotland and was able to see some old footage of me at Christmas time, and that's what kind of gave me that idea, that thought. I was like, wow, like, this is a time where people would have their camcorders out, and like, I know that my grandpa, he was the one that would like film us all, like, open up our presents, and like, catching like different nuances of different family members and what they were doing while we were all just sitting around ripping presents to shreds and fucking making a mess everywhere. So I thought it would really lend itself to a theme of Christmas, and I'd really dig that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's interesting that you say that, because now that like you think about it out loud, and that could like potentially be a next one, right? What would it actually be called? Like, would it be VHS Holiday?
Right? Yeah, because I mean, in this day and age, you can't really. A lot of people aren't calling it Christmas, or like the religious elements of sort of going out to make it more of a neutral holiday for everyone to enjoy.
Right.
So yeah, maybe it's like a VHS holiday, or like, I think VHS Christmas would be like just dope. We've had a Terrifier movie at Christmas, right? So
Right. Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited to I'm excited to see them, because ever since they started doing them, where it's like every year, now I look forward to one every year. Like, I'd be bummed if they didn't like do one next year and they skipped a year or something, like, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, 100%. I definitely feel that. I always get excited, even when I see, like, when they give the lineup of who's going to be directing, who's going to be, putting out segments, and it's really, really fun to see that. And for me, again, I've said it a million times, VHS 99 is my favorite by far. I'm ride or die for that movie every fucking day of my life.
I'm more partial to VHS Beyond, just because of it's space and alien and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So
I was really excited when it was coming out, because I was like, David's gonna love this, and yeah, it didn't disappoint. And and it's the same with a lot of these VHS ones. You can't judge it based on the first time you watch it.
right.
You almost always have to watch it, second, third, maybe even a fourth time, just to really sort of appreciate some parts that you maybe like weren't in the mindset to be in when you watched it initially. So it's the same with any film, really, right? If you had a bad experience where you were like, I wasn't too sure about it, don't give up. Just go back in again. You might have a different mindset. It might change everything. Everything's going to resonate with someone in a different way, I think, and it's always fun to see which ones resonate, especially with these VHS ones. Like, hearing everyone's different favorite segments from this installment was quite interesting. I've seen a lot across the board. There's a couple that for me stand out, obviously, because they're fucking awesome. But yeah, let's give them a trick or treat by talking about VHS Halloween.
Everybody get your costumes, get your mask, get your candy bags. Let's go.
Hell yeah. It's that time of year when 6 more stories are told through the eyes of a tape.
Yeah.
And someone found it, and we found it.
Yes, indeedy.
But yeah, VHS Halloween. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 segments. Um,
And then
in this story, which consists of a wraparound. So between every main segment, there's an overarching storyline that,
right,
in previous cases, is really tied into the film in different areas. Sometimes that doesn't happen; it just helps to move it across the board. For this one, it was Diet Phantasma, which is
I got my Diet Phantasma right
oh
here.
yeah, which is really just the tapes or the trials from a soda company who are trying to make the new latest Halloween soda just in time for the holidays, and it's clearly got some supernatural elements to it that is making these people tortured by the cans.
Yeah, for sure. And I thought it was weird, right? Because they were all just kind of like sitting down, and they're bringing these people in jumpsuits, and it's just for tasting a soda, right? But they're hooking them up to the wires, to the little suction cups on their heads. Right away, that was a red flag for me. Had I been sitting there and they wanted me to try something and they're connecting wires, like, can I gotta go. I'm out.
Yeah, and everyone dies in such a horrible way. Like some people are getting
Yeah.
like these like tentacles or like hairs that like fibers that come out and grab them from the can and try and like pull them into the can, and people are throwing up blood and fucking having these crazy allergic reactions, or like the ginger guy who's like fucking like his eyes are like bleeding and shit, and like
Yeah, man, there was some gnarly ones, especially the so I think it was two of them that were in there, and it was the guy that he started like swelling up and shaking,
Mhm.
and the other girl, she was trying to escape out of the room, and she was there in front of the window where they're watching everything. It's like a two-way mirror, and the other can just shoots off the tab that you flip open the can, and it just hits her in the throat, and just blood everywhere, and uh it's good stuff, man. I mean,
it
it's
was
it's
funny.
kind it's kind of weird, like it filled in the gaps in between and stuff like that, but it was definitely a weird one.
I thought it was good comic relief for throughout the film, because you see from the main guy who's like running the pharmaceutical trials, or the trials here, he looks just so annoyed and like disinterested. Like when all this like insane stuff's happening, he's just like head in his hands, lighting a cigarette, and like just like, oh my god. And he's like telling, like barking orders to change the formula, and clearly they're injecting some sort of supernatural element into this soda to make kids, get possessed. Which I thought was funny, especially because of the season. All the kids are getting extra sugar and candy and shit like that. So,
And
it's
then they
fun.
got to the one kid, the girl that with the white eyes, and he's like already like super interested. He's like, I think we've got it.
Yeah, yeah. And they get the right formula, they get the right test subject, and it's a little girl, and she's like, "Died Phantasma."
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good. Again, first time watching it, like I was just like, kind of, it's a bit jarring. I didn't quite get the tone initially, but then
Right.
seeing it again, I like noticed that like he's just like so disinterested, and I was like, okay, I get the tone now. And then I think I started getting it as it progressed. It got more comedic, and they're like shouting and screaming at each other and all that shit. So that one definitely grew on me. That was made by Brian M. Ferguson. Was the writer and director for Diet Phantasma.
Yeah.
And then next up after that, we have Coochie Coochie Coo, which a lot of people I saw in reviews for the film and just people talking about it in general on Instagram and stuff. A lot of people have been calling this their favorite.
Yeah. I like this one.
You did?
It was very weird because so it starts off with these two girls that are doing a Halloween thing. It's kind of like their last year to kind of like fuck around and do what they do every year. Pretty much they're like what typical like asshole teenagers would do, where they would go and steal candy from kids and destroy pumpkins and stuff on people's doors. Like, these girls were real assholes, right? Like, in the end, I was like, they got what they deserved. I didn't feel sorry for them one bit, but yeah, they're just kind of doing their thing, right? And it turns into they find this one house, they're out chilling, and they're like, well, how do we miss this house? And it was just kind of like flashing with the lights, and they're like, oh yeah, we gotta go. Yeah, we gotta go check out this house. And I'm like, no, we don't. We ain't gotta go check out this house. Well, they got a little surprise when they got to that house.
Oh, big time. She was creepy as shit. And
well, right away, like as soon as they got to the house, the door opened, and it was like coochie coochie coo, and then they stick out the hand with the bag, and I was like, just out of the darkness, like there's no light in the house or anything. I was like, no, we don't want to do that.
Right, especially after you've seen from a distance that all these bright orange lights have been glowing, and it's trying to entice you in. It's almost like a Hansel and Gretel type house, luring you in with candy.
I didn't think about that. That's very Hansel and Gretel. You're absolutely right.
And then when they get in there, they just come into it. Probably fucking reeked, man. It probably reeked of shit and piss and fucking vomit and fucking yellow
dirty
or
diapers,
white fucking titty milk, fucking everywhere. Looked like paint.
Now, to be fair, when they first started seeing the splotches on the floor, like the white liquid, I was like, okay, somebody's having a jizz party, right? And then they started showing like bottles, and then they found the 6 breast pump that was like in a row, like 3 on each side. I was like, okay, this is breast milk. This isn't a jizz party.
Yeah, the udder machine.
Yeah, the udder machine.
The udder milker.
Yeah, man. And it was weird as soon as they got into the house, right? Like, the person that had the basket was right behind them, and I can't remember that they reached for the basket and it got knocked over, and the little fetus rolled out.
Yes.
And that's where everything changed, right? Because the door closed, and all of a sudden the exit was blocked. Everything was boarded up from the inside. So there's no way for them to escape whatsoever. And of course, that's where everything takes a turn, right? Because you got to go through the rest of the house to find your exit.
Exactly. And as they go through, that's where they find there was they were talking about a teenager who had went missing the Halloween prior, and it looks like they found her. She was in there. There's some horrific stuff, like really great practical effects for a lot of this stuff. It looked like they gave them like big dilated pupil contacts to make their eyes just like wide and sort of doe-eyed, and the like fucking giant baby that's just like
the baby man.
The baby man, yeah, who's like biting on the wall, which is reminded me of Bring Her Back when he's like biting on the fucking wooden table. He's like biting on the wall, and like they're contemplating whether they're going to go past them and get out. And
don't talk to me at that movie, dude. That made me cringe when that kid was just biting the table and just chewing on the wood.
Oh, nah, yeah. Gnarly.
Yeah, but what I also found interesting though is that like anybody in this house that they came across, not only were they different, right, but their cheeks were puffed.
Yeah,
they kind of look like chipmunks or beavers a little bit with the puffy cheeks. Like as soon as they got the milk, it also altered their appearance a bit.
Right, kind of like cherubs is another way I'd think of it. It's kind of like that. They're almost like little baby, like cherubs, to make them look more baby-like.
That big cherub baby biatch.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, ultimately they succumb to, it's like a lullaby that she sings to them, and it like transcends them, and they like get hypnotized, and that's when they come and join her. And we see a lot of good elements in this of sort of found footage. They've got the camera. They do a fun part where she like runs in like the mirror, and she like screams and stuff like that. I dug that. When they're running away hiding, like it was very, for me, it felt a bit too long. For the rest of the segments all felt a bit shorter. This one felt a bit longer than the rest of them.
Yeah.
Which I kind of felt that towards the end of it, but Yeah, the practical effects on it, like how gross and disgusting it was, it kind of reminded me of the VHS Beyond with the first one, with like um the
Oh, the
stork.
giant, the stork. Yeah,
Yeah, like
yeah.
it kind of
That one
reminded me
was
of
gnarly
that, like
too.
that sort of otherworldly, monstrous, being. Um, it kind of gave me those vibes. And
What
uh, it's
what
fun.
completely grossed me out, man, is when they found that girl with the strap, and it was the IV of the milk, and it was
Oh
just like
yeah,
pumping into her face, and they move her to the side, right? They're like, we can't help her. We'll just come back with the cops, right? We'll let them know they'll come back and they'll get her. As soon as they open that door, you actually see the mother, right? And she's got the six boobs hanging out, and it was so gross. Like it as soon as you saw her, like milk was just like squirting out of the nipples like in all directions, and it just grossed me out, man. I was like, oh.
oh yeah, it was gnarly. Kind of like Barbarian as well, like Barbarian with a baby
Oh yeah,
milk stuff. Like that was freaked me out.
I forgot about Barbarian. Holy shit.
Yeah. But yeah, this one was fun.
It definitely was.
Yeah, it's hard. I think it's hard being first on kind of thing. Um, the wraparound, you just expect either it's going to get better or it's going to get worse. But being the first like proper segment in a VHS is probably it's always big shoes to fill. Because there's just a lot of really solid entries in the franchise. So going first is always hard, but yeah, it was decent. Good practical effects, like I said. Good found footage techniques that I really enjoyed. Shaky cams and running around in the house. You got some really great shots of like fucking the godmother or whatever. Pulling all the kids in and all that. Like at the end when it's just the camera's just sitting there and they're all just sort of obsessed with her, entranced by her,
Right.
eyes. So
Yeah, it was definitely a weird one, and what a way to set the tone, right? With the what the fuck, you know, first entry. Just kind of like,
yeah,
okay, is this how it's going to be the rest of the rest of the time, or what can we expect now? Because you just got like shocked a little bit
exactly.
and grossed out.
Hell yeah. But yeah, from there we obviously had another Diet Phantasma segment, and then we move into the next one, which for me is probably going to be my least favorite of this one. Not because it's bad, just that I didn't feel like it fit the theme of Halloween. And it was the segment for Ut Supra Sic Infra, which I believe translates to as above, so below.
Right.
So, yeah, this one, and for me, this is probably just a personal preference. I find it a little jarring when it comes to the VHS films when they have like a foreign language one, like,
Right.
and it's not. Some of them are good, but like a lot of them just sort of, I don't know what it is. It just sort of takes me out it, I guess, because if I'm going to sit and watch something with subtitles like Gonjiam or something like that, Wreck or whatever, like the whole film's like that, and it's almost like it's a jolt to your system because the tone just completely shifts. This one in particular, it shifts to like police who are recreating horrible crime scene that they've come across from a survivor, and they're trying to piece together what's happened, and it just sort of, as it progresses, sort of slowly builds on the information that they have available from the police.
Yeah, this one was an interesting one because it was so this one was okay, right? Because I can understand Spanish better than I can speak it. So I was able to keep up with it. But this one's just a wacky one because so on this one, was it a church that they were going into, or because eventually they went up into like a tower type part of it?
Yeah, it was like a mansion, like some sort of mansion that had a secret, it's like almost like seance room.
Right, okay.
And it was so it was a girl who brought her friends in, and she was, I guess she was doing work there, and she was brought down there by colleagues. So she decided to take her friends down on Halloween. They came from a Halloween party, and really that's the only portion for me that's remotely Halloween is just the fact that they came from a Halloween party.
Yeah, that there was no like real Halloween tone to it.
Right.
Yeah, they were in costumes and things like that. But I mean, you're right. It didn't fit the whole Halloween vibe, but it's still weird in its own way, right? Because they're in this room, they get locked in, phone starts ringing, they answer it, and that's where shit hits the fan.
Totally. And with that, they find all these like symbols and sigils and phrases and stuff on the walls written in chalk and things like that. And the guy reads the saying. He says it 3 times, I think, and then the phone in the middle of the room starts ringing.
Right.
And that's where they answer it, and then he starts to seize up, and that's when we start to get like it. I like the pacing of this, like as a segment for VHS. I do think it's up there as a very good one. Absolutely, I think it's well made. I think it's really like creepy and like shot very well, and there's a lot of cool stuff in it. But I'm judging it based on the theme of Halloween,
right?
And for me, this felt the least Halloween. And there's a couple actually that are not as Halloweeny. Like arguably the Diet Phantasma one, until the very end, isn't very Halloweeny, right? Like
right.
So like from that aspect, I'm not a fan of this one. But as an actual segment in a VHS film, it's very good. It's very well shot. It's super fucking creepy. When the police get them in, they bring the phone, and they're like, "There's no way that this phone could ring." And he's just like, "No." Like, doesn't want to go in there, doesn't want to do it, and then they just basically make him do the thing again, and then unlock this fucking, this being that he is, who shoots them up to the ceiling and fucking pulls their eyes out.
Yeah, man, and I thought it was really weird because you were talking about the translation of as above, so below, and it's weird how everybody floated to the top. They were stuck to it, and then you kind of see the camera shift a bit, and there's a door that's up there, and the guy that's possessed comes through it upright, but it's upside down, and it was definitely a weird one, man. It was good. It didn't, right, like you said, it didn't make sense in the sense of Halloween-ish. But the segment itself was good. Like it was kind of like one of those what the fuck episodes. It still kind of kept that tone a bit after the first one.
Totally, and with it again, like second on, and then it's like another language that I don't really understand. It's a jolt, not necessarily a bad thing. Like just for me, it's a bit of a jolt. And you kind of need to lock in a little bit, especially when you're trying to find your feet, especially because the segments are they're relatively short in reality.
Right.
I think this one's like an hour and 50. Like it's nearly 2 hours for this one.
Really, I thought it was an hour and a half. I didn't look at the timing, but
yeah, I'm fairly certain. I'll look up the runtime closer to the end, but yeah, I'm pretty sure it was quite a long one in terms of the segments.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Huh.
But yeah, it was well done. This one was written and directed by Paco Plaza. And yeah, I mean, honestly, I think if this one had been in another VHS film, like almost like kept, like I think it was good, but it was like just it wasn't the right style for this one.
Right.
Yeah. Like I don't want to say bad about it because it's creepy, it's well done, and like that shot at the end when like he's upside, everyone else is upside down and he's like walking across them, like so good.
I could have seen this one like as a Christmas one, like if they had gone a different direction with it and it was like a house that a family moved into or something like that for Christmas, and they found this secret room, and all this shit starts happening because whatever they red on the walls or whatever, and the phone starts to ring, and they had gone that direction. I could see that happening.
Right. And they're like Christmas pajamas and stuff.
It's kind of weird how they give these directors the the idea of what they're doing, and then just kind of like, here, make something, and then that's what they come out with.
Yeah, to me it sounds like a cool challenge. Like,
yeah, it's almost like a challenge, right?
Yeah, it's like, make a film about this. Like, you're given a word, like kind of like ABCs of Death. I don't know if you ever saw those, but
no, and that's one that I've always wanted to see, and I've never gotten around to it.
Yeah, that talk about like a jarring experience. Like, it literally goes from A to Z, and it plays the segment, and then at the end it tells you the word that they used and the letter. They're basically all just given a letter. Your letter's A, your letter's Y, and it'll say like Y is for like Yaya, and like some of them you're like, it's almost like a game trying to guess what the segment is called or what the word is that they're referencing here.
Do they really go through the full alphabet?
Yeah, they're They're shorts, right? They're not like
right?
They're not like bigger segments like you see in VHS. It goes through the whole alphabet. It goes through A to Z.
Interesting. Okay.
All different directors, all different actors and stuff like that. All different stories. It's like almost like a film strip of different, like a VHS combo pack or like a DVD combo that's got fucking 47 films on it. It's like one of those, but they're all shorts.
Well, now I know what to watch this weekend.
Hell yeah, if you can find it, check it out. There's two of them. There's ABCs of Death, and there's ABCs of Death 2.
Right on. Okay.
Yeah, it's fun. But yeah.
And so I mean that's pretty much the second segment. Then of course, we get another little break with some good old Diet Phantasma.
Diet Phantasma as well. And that's where we go into Fun Size.
Yeah.
Fun Size by Casper Kelly. Shout out to him, because this is I would say this is probably my second favorite, like close second favorite. This one was absolutely bonkers, and I think if you're going to give points for fitting the theme of Halloween, this one hits it. I loved it. I thought it was so funny, so entertaining, so unique, and when there's a justification for it being filmed, for me, I really appreciate that. And actually, this has a very smart way of doing it, because it follows, 4 young adults who have finished up at a Halloween party, and they have the fun idea to go trick-or-treating. And one's dressed as like a pirate, one's dressed as like Wonder Woman, and then the other 2 are dressed as found footage directors, or found footage like camera people, who are like covered in like GoPros and like other things. They have handy cams and all that. That I thought was such a fun touch. And
it really was. I really appreciated that part, that they had them dressed up as found footage filmmakers.
Yeah, it just made it, like, for me, so well done. And then it just goes batshit crazy, because when they get to the second house, they end up finding out that like the candy is like in this completely gibberish package that makes no sense. They're just like, what the hell is this? Like, and there's no information about it. They try looking it up online. There's nothing about it. And it just says 1 piece per person, or just take 1 piece kind of thing, which is a typical lore behind Halloween. And they're digging through, and of course the guy who's the pirate picks out the one that's shaped like a fucking dick.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say right now. It's like he pulls it out and he goes, "Oh my god, it's shaped like a penis." And he was grabbing the head part under his hand right at first, and then he flips it around and it's a dick head, and they're all like, "Oh,
oh, it is." And then he takes a bite, and then there's like white cream comes out. She's like, yeah, of course there's white cream in it.
It's a Dick cordial cherry.
Right. And oh man, like, and as well when he's taking a bite of it, he's like, oh, there's like layers to it.
It's layers.
Oh, it's nasty. So he decides he didn't want to eat a dick, so he decides to get another piece, and he's already broke the rules, and that's when
The hand comes out.
the hand comes out, and shit hits the fan.
Hell yeah. I thought it was pretty creepy though, because like the hand came out of nowhere and grabbed him, right? But at the same time, it's sitting on top of like a crate, right? Or like a pallet. So there's no bottom to it. So like, how is he doing this? And it wouldn't let him go. And did it suck him into the bowl?
Yeah, like, which was the first craziest part, right? Because it like grabs him by the hand, and he's just like, "Oh, this is fun," and it won't let him go, and it like yanks him in, and then you see his legs sticking out.
Yeah, okay.
And then they do the cut, and they show you, and there's nothing under the table, and then they go back up, and then his shoes are like there, and then these shoes like disappear. I thought that was so good. And then they all get sucked in, and then the two girls try and run away, and they turn round, and the bowl comes flying at them, and like sucks them into this like other world. And it's a factory. It's a weird candy factory. He's like a perverse Willy Wonka.
Fun size.
One size.
I thought it was a nice touch that they put a midget in there with the weird mask. It almost kind of looked like a candy bag on his head.
Exactly. Yeah, he's like he's probably more fun size,
Right.
But yeah, it was so entertaining. Like, it was just batshit crazy. They end up getting on the machine. The pirate guy gets chopped up, and they just turn him into candy. They cover him in caramel, and
it was really gnarly to see all the body parts that were cut up, and he was sliced down the middle, and all the body parts going on the conveyor belt. And then they first get the layer of the caramel, then they go through for the chocolate, and you just see all the parts, right? It's the brain, it's the heart, it's the penis, and then it's got like the balls. And they got the hair on the balls still, and they're just like dropping chocolate and caramel.
And then at one point it's his hand, and it's got the key, because they're trying to find a key to get out,
right?
And because they find a lock, and they try and get a key to get out, and so that's part of it. At one point they cut off. I think the character's just called Fun Size, because he just keeps saying it, Fun Size, and they chop his arm off, and then all the gumballs and come flying out. He's like, "Arrgh!" With this big red head and like the crown. Like, he looks like a character that you would see on like a gummy candy line or something like that.
You know what it reminded me of? I don't know if you've ever been to one. Have you ever been to Jack in the Box before?
No, but I know what you're talking about.
The Jack ball head? Yeah.
Yeah. The big round head with like the crown, and he's got like a yellow suit.
Right.
With like red appendages, and it's just crazy. Absolutely insane. And then all of them end up just, chopped up and ready to go.
I really thought that the weird part of it was they caught the first girl, right? And they pull her into the factory, and then the other girl wants to go look for her, and then her boyfriend, or the would-be fiance that hasn't proposed yet, was like, "No, we got to get out of here. She's gone." She's like, "I'm not leaving her behind." So she goes first, and he's trailing her, and they go to the other room where the girl's at, and she's got a tube of gumballs shoved up her ass, and all of a sudden it starts pumping her full of the gumballs, and then her head just like rips off, and it's just shooting out gumballs everywhere.
Yeah, that was so it was so crazy. That for me was just like they fit the vibe, man. Like, they understood the assignment.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, they really got creative with that one.
Some
It's funny.
some
It's funny
great,
to see how they how their minds work, you know.
right, yeah, and really great practical effects
Yeah, yeah,
throughout
for
it.
sure.
Like it's just so fucking so funny, so entertaining. For me, it's up there for sure. Definitely fit the vibe. So,
I'd be curious on this one, like what the budget was, because I mean, how much candy did you buy to make this segment happen?
oh, that's right. Yeah, that's very true. Um, I don't know. I don't know what the budget would be for these segments. I reckon they
I
probably try and keep them as tight as possible because it's not really full like feature films. It's like
right.
shorts ultimately. Um, so, but some of them really go all out. They either use friends or um. Shit, sorry. Some of them really go all out and they put like a whole load of effort into it, and it's really quite something. And this one definitely felt like that, like the machines and all that they had, the conveyor belts, and they definitely used a lot of really cool like filming areas and like dressing up the set and stuff like that. Like it's just all like fucking crazy, and it's probably more in line with like what you would get in like Star Trek, or, like back in the day, where it'd be like cardboard and it's like painted to look like a
Right.
thing. Like there's a potential for that and that sort of practicality behind it. So it definitely felt like that, which I thought was really really fun.
Yeah, this one was a good one, man. There was a lot of nice little surprises. I thought the body parts were really good. That
Yeah.
and then to find the key, they had to start opening all the packages to find the hand.
Yep.
And they were finding everything but the hand.
Yeah. The deck is like, oh, it's just his penis. And then when it's going through, she's like, oh my god, even the balls. Yeah, this was one of the craziest ones for sure. This might be one of the craziest ones in the VHS one, like franchise. It's pretty wild.
And
Real
the
fun.
ending was pretty good, right? Because after they took the girl at the end when she got the ring, and the guy proposed to her when they were inside the because they tried to escape through a vent, right? And it turned out to be the machine with the conveyor belt. And he puts the ring on her before he gets swallowed in, then she gets swallowed in, and then it cuts to the porch again with the bowl of candy, and it's two kids and a mom, and the kid's opening up the candy, right? And she's all that there's a piece of metal in it, and she's all, let me see that. And then it's the finger with the ring on it. And then you got the older kid, he goes, I grabbed two, is that bad? And then the bowl just flies at him, and that's how it ends.
Yeah, it was so funny, man. This was so good.
This one had to have been the most themed Halloween yet, like you said, in the whole thing.
Yeah. And then we're treated to another Diet Phantasma. And
Yes.
after that is when it takes a darker turn. And you go from a kind of a treat to a bit of a trick with this one.
Right.
And it's Kid Print, which was that was made by Alex Ross Perry, and I put this in my review of it, and it's like if the guys from August Underground were part of like the PSA campaign for the fucking children in that town. Like
Right.
that's
Okay,
how it
yeah,
felt.
yeah. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, this one was kind of a weird one.
It was pretty brutal. It was very brutal and violent, and I mean it still had some Halloween vibes to it a little bit, but not as much as I would have liked. I think when we come from Fun Size, and that is really like candy driven, Halloweeny and sort of that sort of thing, and then going to that, which is quite a harrowing thing, because and I found this out because I didn't know what it was, what they were doing, but they were taking children's portraits and videotapes of them in case they go missing. like that is apparently a thing that would happen with kids in the US. Just in case they go missing, it's like a recent photograph that they can give to the police and the press and for missing posters and stuff like that.
Right.
Which is so fucking horrifying. But I mean, it's definitely a thing, and and really that's where we start, is just finding out about like all these different children, or speaking at the camera. You can see them in front of the board with it's got their height, and like talking about like, oh, what are you going to dress up for Halloween and stuff like that. And then we follow the guy who's running the place. Kid Print is what they're calling it, and he's the guy that runs a video store, which it's always nostalgic to see a video store in a film.
Right.
So he's kind of walking about, handy cam style, talking to some of the employees, and then one of the parents asks for a rush for one of their kids, which I thought was weird, because it's clearly a busy time. It's like, oh, can we get a rush on it, and like we need it quick type thing, which is odd. But I guess I think it's just a really like worried mother. I guess there's a lot of missing children that have been going on in the area, and so she's wanting to get it just in case.
And it does turn out as you progress through it, that's very much the case, that the children are going missing, and it's very much circled around this. This one was a weird one, right? Because it's kind of like, almost like child predator, but in a sick serial killer kind of way, because it's not like assault of a child. It's just, gruesome murders.
Right. And what we really see is like, it's clearly a town that's in panic because there's been a lot of children going missing, and they don't have any leads, and they don't know what's happening. And it ultimately stops the trick-or-treating for all the kids. They have to go to a designated area that's patrolled by the police, where they can go and get like a piece of candy from each officer or whatever, and then like that's their Halloween, that's their trick-or-treat for the year. And like that was just awful. And finding out about that, and obviously there's children going missing, and it then leads to one of the chief, or the police chief, who comes by, and he like asks the guy who runs the video store to go and get like a copy, because there's a kid that came to the store earlier that's gone missing.
Right.
And it's just like, whoa, what the fuck? So clearly someone's prowling about and has taken another kid, and that's where it just starts to take a nosedive into just madness, where we find out really who the killer is, what's actually been happening. It's been happening behind closed doors and under the nose of the video store owner. As it turns out, it's his technician or engineer. I think it's like Marvin or something like that, his name is. And he's ultimately been kidnapping and torturing children. Bruce is his name. Kidnapping and torturing children and murdering them, and cutting pieces off them. Fucking,
it was so weird. Weekends. The way this turned out, the service that was meant to help children is what was killing them, or making them go missing, right? Because it was somebody within the service of that was causing this. And it was really crazy, because he was doing all kinds of sick things. There was even at one point where he cut the face off of one of them, and the actual owner comes in and finds out what's going on. He wasn't supposed to be there, and he ends up being one of the victims as well. But he kind of gets spinned into this as the guy that was doing it told the children that he was part of it as well. So like he put the kid's face on him, and the kid freaked out because he saw his face on the guy, pulled it off, and he's like, you're part of it, and started stabbing him. The other kid girl comes in and said that he's a part of it too, and they just start stabbing the owner, when he's innocent in all this. And it was just very gnarly, dude. It was crazy. That's like you said, it took a really bad nosedive.
It was so tragic as well. Like, because clearly this guy takes a lot of pride in what he does, and he is like the neighbor next door. And like when you first start this segment, you kind of see him driving in the car. He's got the camera on, and like the news is on, and he like turns the news off, or like turns the news up, I think actually, and is listening to talking about another kid's body who was found and all that, and it kind of throws a red herring in. This could be the guy. Like, yeah, this may be the guy. And I mean, you don't really see too much of the other people that work at the store to really realize that they are potentially involved in it. And yeah, it was quite a shock to find out it was the video technician who also was then playing his own videotapes. Like, he was the cameraman, like, who had videotaped all these kids to get them ready for before Halloween. And yeah, seeing them in the background where they're like, he's like cutting pieces of flesh off, and he's just like, oh, you want another piece? You want another piece? Yeah, let's get another piece. And he like starts filleting children, taking their face off and like putting on, and then basically just implicates the guy, like flips it. Like, clearly this guy's demented, and he's just gonna keep going. And it's such a tragic end to that segment, because it's like, god damn, because this guy was actually nice. He was trying in there to try to help out, and
right,
killed him. He's sort of hammering him, and that's really what reminded me of August Underground with a hammer, where he's
right,
where they're just bashing this guy in the head, and he's just like laying there, just taking it. Like,
the and it was interesting to see that in the end how he flipped it on him as taking the blame. And of course, everybody, the two kids there are gone, so they can't even, say he was part of it. So there's all these news segments to where how they try to go interview the wife and the kids, and they're obviously ashamed that their husband was like this, and and then they cut to they're doing all the interviews, and they cut to Bruce, right? Was his name?
Yeah.
And he's just kind of like acting like he never knew what was happening. He was just there doing his job in the back, and you're just like, it's fucking him. Like, you're interviewing the fucking murderer, and this guy's like, I'm just gonna keep it going, for the community, for the kids. And it's like,
son of a bitch.
Yeah, this guy's been under y'all's nose the whole time, and y'all are just gonna let him go, and he's just gonna keep doing what he's doing.
Yeah. And that's really the trope of serial killers. Is a lot of them are very like charming, are very quiet, or very like keep themselves to themselves for the most part, and then really they're doing these horrible things and
hiding out in the open.
This guy was he had the means, had the opportunity, and just was a sick, crazed individual. So, but yeah, that was another. It was another good one. Didn't fit that Halloweeny vibe as much again for me. Like, there's only a little bit of Halloween, but yeah, it was probably my third favorite, I think, because I liked August Underground, so I think it was giving me vibes of that, and I appreciated that. So
yeah, absolutely. And then back after that, another Diet Phantasma segment.
And this Diet Phantasma segment is really where everything ramps up. As it's progressed throughout, it really builds upon it. Like, it's getting stronger and stronger and stronger. And then they keep tweaking the dosage and doing all that. And then this time they finally get the recipe right, and they possess a young child with pigtails who has like the white eyes and the deep voice, and they perfect it, and they move on.
they roll it out.
Yep, they're like, yep, let's get it rolled out for Halloween.
Pack it up, can them up, let's go.
Hell yeah. And then lastly, we have, in my opinion, the best segment in the whole thing. Definitely saved the best of last with this one. And it's Home Haunt, and it's by R.H. Norman and Micheline Pitt Norman. And holy shit, this was the most Halloweeny, like everything I could have ever wanted from the Halloween theme. I think this really embodied it, and it really was fucking balls to the wall Halloween madness.
Yeah, this one was good. This one, of course, is a father and son duo that set up a haunted house every year. They've been doing it since he was a little kid, and his dad is known in the town for, being the Halloween guy, setting up the haunted house and stuff like that. And they do the whole backtrack through the home videos of when they used to do it, and they cut to now the kid's a teenager, hates his life, hates that he's bullied at school because of this. And typical teenager, they don't want to, they want to be popular or not bullied and things like that. So that's kind of where we cut to. And it's an argument between him and his dad. He's not even calling him dad, he's calling him by his actual name. Like, there's no respect there or anything like that. He's embarrassed by his dad, what he does every year, and what he's known for, and how he's associated with that.
Yeah, and I think the because he makes him wear like the hunchback.
Yeah.
And he goes by Igor and all that sort of thing. Like, so, like, especially as you're getting older, you're trying to impress girls and all that. Like, he's just like, oh, I don't want to do that anymore. And it's basically the mum that talks him into it. He's just like, Mum's just better at bribery than you are.
Right. So they go through with they go through with the haunted house setup. So they cut to going to go look for some props, right? The kid's already annoyed. He's like, why do we need more junk and this and that? So they go down to the thrift store, and they're digging through the old stuff. And I like the the go into a place and you can't record here, and the dad's all acting like, oh, I'm sorry, I totally forgot. He's all, no, I didn't forget.
Yeah, it was so well done, and really funny. Like, I love the camaraderie between the dad and the son. Like, as they're going through, like, into the thrift store, he pops into the employees only, looking for the good stuff,
and he found the good stuff.
He found it. Yeah, he found it all right. He fucking yoinks this classic album for, like, a record that has Halloween music on it, and he's like, oh yeah, we're playing this in the haunt. And he's like, yeah, I left her a few bucks.
So you're into stealing now?
He's like, no, I left her a few bucks. Yeah.
The part that annoyed me was, they cut to opening night for the haunted house, right? They've got it all set up. The dad's out there. The son is obviously the cameraman, right? Because he's just kind of following him around, and he's going through and he's passing out the flyers to all the local neighbors that are coming out to the haunted house. And you get to the next door neighbor who's just a complete fucking asshole, and he's all like, let's get on with this. I mean, this is, your haunted house sucks every year. It's not even any good. He's all then, well, like, why are you here?
And do you know who that guy is?
No, I didn't recognize him.
So that is Rick Baker. Rick Baker is a famous special effects artist.
Okay.
Like, he's done like a lot of horror films, a lot of mainstream films. Like, I know for sure one of the films he did was The Grinch. He did the Grinch makeup for Jim Carrey.
No shit.
Yeah, so he's like an esteemed, like, he's up there like Savini and Nicotero and all that. Like, he's up there with those guys. Is one of the best. His Instagram page it always shows his work, right? And every Halloween, like, he always makes costumes for him, for his daughter, and this year he made one for his daughter's boyfriend, and it was a mask of Joel from The Last of Us, and it was like Pedro Pascal, and it looked the double of him, and it was like a mask that he put, like, the kid put on, so you could tell it's a mask, right, because of the sunken eyes and stuff.
Right.
but everything else looks like Joel. He does like the meticulous like hair and all that, like thread and needles and all that. Like his work is fantastic. So check out his Instagram, but that's who that is, which I thought was badass.
Wow.
He's the
No idea.
he's the grumpy ass neighbor.
No idea. I had no idea that's who that was.
Hell
Wow.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I really like that his wife said, then why are we here?
Yeah, he was just like fucking miserable the whole time. And when they start to play the record, that's when everything goes to shit. Basically, it's some haunted record that brings all of the Halloween props to life, and
Yeah.
that's when they and really it kicks it up to like 100, because when they go into the room, like they go and they start playing the music, and they go into the other room, and it's like this giant like graveyard looking thing with all the smoke and all that, and they're like, whoa, like this isn't our haunt.
Yeah, all of a sudden it's like I didn't do this. This is not me. And I really like the part where was it a cheerleader that got pulled out of she ran away, and she separated from the group into another room, and when they go into that room, it was a torture chamber, and she was in the electric chair getting electrocuted, and the executioner came to life, and they had to fight the executioner.
Yep, executioner fucking splits it's the wife, right, of the guy so Rick Baker's character, he gets killed by the ghost. Like it basically explode him. The sheep ghosts, and then his wife gets her head like fucking obliterated by an axe from the executioner, and then they end up fighting him and like killing him with the axe, and just chaos, man, as they're going through this haunted house and all the rooms have come to life. It was just so chaotic, and you really felt like you were in a haunted house, like going through it. Like it was really so well done.
Yeah, it was really good. But yeah, there was so many different like bits, because there was so many things happening, all the madness that unfolds, because of course all the props have come to life. But the best part for me was at the very end, where before they cut out at the end, the monster, the head that was the entrance, essentially comes to life too, because the hands come out, they start to move, and then the eyes are moving from the actual thing, and that's kind of where they cut out at the end. That was the end of the segment, but that part I liked as well.
Yeah, that was cool. The way that happened was awesome. I think the favorite part for me was when the witch comes to life.
Yeah,
and they like pop in the room, and there's like a cauldron, and she's got like the kid in the cauldron try to cook
bites
her,
the fingers out, the fingers off.
Yep, it's just so insane. It's so well done. It's like the Wicked Witch of the East has come to life, and then they push her into the cauldron, burn her face or whatever, and then they're able to get out, and then the witch flies away on a broom with the camera in hand. She like steals it off the kid, and then just starts like cackling away. She's like flying into children, grabbing them, ripping their heads off, pulling their spines out, fucking tossing them. Oh man, I was crying, laughing, watching that one. I thought it was so entertaining.
It was such a wild one, man, because everything just came to life, and just what you would expect out of a true haunted house if it really did come to life. The worst of the worst happening.
Hell yeah. And then yeah, like that really, like, I think for me rounded it out perfectly. I think it's such a pleasant note to end on, for at least the segments. And then after that, we're then treated to the commercial for Diet Phantasma, and that to me really brought together, especially when you're rolling on that high from Home Haunt. When you get into that commercial for Diet Phantasma, it's just so like nostalgic and sort of 80s feeling, and like super Halloweeny, and just so funny. It's just a good little pleasant thing to end on. And the song at the end, I don't know if you listened to the credits, David, but I want to give a shout out to Chat Pile, who they were the band that played the song at the end, and it's such a weird song name. It's like, you get like an image, like an image file on your computer, and it tells you the name, and it's got like underscores and stuff instead of spaces, and like
Right.
.jpeg or whatever. So the song is like grimace _ smoking _ weed.jpg. I'm pretty sure that's the whole thing. Maybe something's, but that's the gist of it basically.
I don't remember that.
Oh man, I loved it. I thought it was super heavy and like fucking weird and like it was just wild. So check that out.
I'll have to go back and check it out. I don't remember it.
Yeah, it was fun. It was a good one. But yeah, special shout out for that. But yeah, VHS Halloween. I thought it was a spooky fun time. Some elements, none of them I really have a problem with found footage wise. I think a lot of them are really on point with that, and I really dig that. I really enjoy when the found footage element's on point. But a couple of segments were just not Halloweeny for me enough. I think I expected a bit more, especially because of how alien VHS Beyond was, and in the years, like they were very much on style, right? And I think this one kind of like lacked that Halloween element. You end on a really good Halloween element,
right?
I like, but I think just everything else running up to it just wasn't as Halloweeny as I expected it would be.
Yeah, that I can agree on. There was two in there that vaguely incorporate Halloween, but just weren't very Halloween themed.
Mm-hmm.
But with all that being said, let's go ahead and rate this sucker.
Hell yeah. David, would you like the honors first?
Yeah, absolutely. So this one for me, if we go back and look at, the fact that, a couple of them weren't very Halloween themed, but were done very well. The first one and the last one were probably, and the fun size were probably the most Halloweeny ones. Overall, I mean, it was a good ride. I did have to watch it the second and third time around to truly piece everything together and truly appreciate it. But for me, as far as this one goes, probably not in my top 3 of VHS movies, but I would give it a solid 3 tapes.
Awesome. Yeah. I think I'm in agreement with you there. I also, when I rated it on Letterboxd, I also gave it 3, so 3 tapes for me. Yeah, like I enjoyed a good amount of it. Like in terms of a VHS film, it's good, right? But I think we're so used to it being on theme and on point for so much that that to me, sort of, this one lacked it. I think there was so much potential for, especially leaning into the Halloween aspect.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not a knock on any of them. Like all of them had really incredible visuals, or practical effects, or fun characters and entertaining storylines. Like I was entertained. It was definitely it's definitely up there for me in the entertainment factor for VHS. I'd probably put it 5th in my list, like 5th or 4th maybe. But yeah, I'd probably give it 3 tapes as well. Home Haunt and Fun Size for me were the best, clearly. Then I would say probably Kid Print, just because of the brutality of it, and I loved August Underground.
Right.
Then Coochie Coochie Coo. Then Diet Phantasma. Then the the Sick Infra.
Yeah.
So yeah, but overall, decent entry. I didn't hate it. I really didn't hate it. I really had a fun time, and that's That's why I'm giving it a 3. I think
Yeah.
if there wasn't that saving grace of some of those segments, I definitely could see it going down to like maybe like a 2 or lower.
And
And it mainly just because of the theme of Halloween.
right. And if the other segments had stuck more true to the Halloween and really brought that out more, I would have bumped it up to 4.
Yeah, it had the potential to really sort of bump up there again. Just staying on vibe check were off, you know.
Yeah, you're right.
But no, yeah, I'd say it's decent. If you're looking for a movie to watch on Halloween, while you're getting ready to go out or for a Halloween party, or after when you're sitting gorging on candy, definitely check it out. If you're getting ready for a Halloween party, you should also be listening to We Fin a Tape, the special Halloween version. So
Absolutely. And if you're having a night in with some friends and y'all are watching some horror movies, definitely pop this one in because it's entertaining on different levels. Because it'll make you laugh, it'll freak you out a bit, and it'll definitely gross you out.
hell yeah. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram and YouTube and Spotify and Apple Podcasts and Amazon and Google and
All the good stuff.
all the good stuff. Everything's going to be at We Found a Tape. All of our links are going to be in the bio. So
Absolutely. And don't forget, Halloween, be safe, have fun with the kids. And don't forget that when you take those kids out trick-or-treating, those Reese's peanut butter cups are yours. Don't forget that. Don't forget also, be kind, rewind, and we'll see you on the next one. Happy Halloween from We Found a Tape.
happy Halloween from We Found a Tape.